Right now, Clash of Clans has a huge problem with Town Hall 12. The short version of this problem is that Town Hall 12 is more difficult than Town Hall 13 right now. In this video, I'm going to tell you why it is such a problem, why it happened, and what Supercell can do to fix it. We first noticed this problem in WHF for ourselves because it's very difficult to find any Town Hall 12 recruits right now. There's a number of reasons for this. One of them being that most of the people that were already at Town Hall 12 wanted to go to Town Hall 13 when it came out. Nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly natural to want to continue to be at the top of the game. But another problem is just the fact that the Town Hall 13 right now is way easier than Town Hall 12 is. So normally when you get a new Town Hall, you have a group of people that move up. In this instance, it would have been people moving up from Town Hall 11 to Town Hall 12. But since it's so difficult, we didn't have very many people making that move. So we end up with a big problem. Now, I know we're not the only clan to deal with this. In fact, I know that this has been a problem across Clash of Clans. Tons of clans out there that do not have enough quality Town Hall 12s right now, or really enough Town Hall 12s at all. Now, there's one reason, and one reason that is the most responsible for Town Hall 13 being much easier than Town Hall 12. Stick in there till the end of this video, and I'll tell you what that one reason is. But why is this an issue? Why is this a problem outside of WHF having a hard time finding Town Hall 12 recruits, which, by the way, if you're at Town Hall 12 and you're watching this, if you got a maxed account, now is an excellent time to apply to the WHF/Tribe Gaming family, and you can find the link to our recruiting Discord server in the description of this video. In fact, it's in the description of all of my videos. So if you're a Town Hall 12 maxed account, you got some skills, we want you. So good opportunity for you right now to get into the WHF family. Now, let's take a look back in history a little bit when this happened before. You fast forward to before the Town Hall 12 update came out. Town Hall 11 was the most difficult Town Hall in the game, but before that, even before they nerfed the Infernos, Town Hall 11 really wasn't the most difficult Town Hall in the game. Town Hall 10 was. In fact, Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 11 were so difficult that Town Hall 11s most of the time did not have to attack 11v11. Their job most of the time was dipping Town Hall 10. So back at that point of the game, if you wanted the biggest challenge, it was at Town Hall 10. But again, with Town Hall 10 being the hardest Town Hall in the game at that point, you ended up with a huge class of people that called themselves Town Hall 9 lifers. Town Hall 10 was so much more difficult to play at than the other Town Halls and competitive wars that you had a ton of people that would not advance past Town Hall 9. I know Supercell does not want to have this happen again, which is why they try to make the previous Town Halls easier than they were before as the new Town Halls come out. Now, anytime there's any sort of an unbalance in the game, you're always going to get a group of people. They'll usually pop up in the comments of YouTube videos, and it usually goes something like, Supercell does this on purpose for some nefarious reason or another. I think those people are idiots. You have to understand that anytime a company, especially a game maker, is going to make new content, putting out new stuff, which we all say we like new stuff in our games, it's not going to come out perfect, especially when you do a massive update like Supercell just did. There's going to be unintended consequences anytime you make any sort of changes. There's nothing nefarious about this. This is perfectly normal, and this is exactly why they have balancing changes to fix those imbalances. Town Hall 12 had to be super difficult for a reason, because until Town Hall 13 came out, it was the highest level of the game, and when it's in a balanced state, the highest level of the game should definitely be the most difficult, so no surprise there. Now, there's going to be several schools of thought on this, on how you fix this. Of course, some might instantly think, well, we obviously need to nerf the Town Hall 13 offense to help out Town Hall 12 being more difficult. Now, it might come to that, it really might, but it's difficult to tell. Town Hall 13 is still super new, and that means the majority of the bases are not maxed out yet, and base design is still trying to catch up with the meta. We got a number of new attacks and new attack strategies that are working at Town Hall 13, and it takes a while for base builders to catch up and figure out how to defend the strongest attacks at the Town Hall. So I'm not a fan of nerfing Town Hall 13 offense just yet. Wait until most of those bases are maxed. Wait until base design has a chance to catch up. Now, however, I am not opposed to nerfing Town Hall 12 defenses, and you know, we've seen that happened a ton of times before. We saw it happen at Town Hall 11 quite a few times after Town Hall 12 came out. They kept, you know, downgrading the defenses levels at Town Hall 11 just to make it a little bit easier. And I think that probably needs to happen at Town Hall 12 right now, just to bring it back into alignment. You want the newest, the highest Town Hall 13, to be more difficult than Town Hall 12. And I think by nerfing some of the defensive levels at Town Hall 12, or, you know, some of the DPS, maybe some of the hit points on a few of the defenses there, I'm in favor of that being a good option right now, just to try and kind of bring it back into balance. But hey, at the end of the day, if that still does not do it, then they're probably not going to have any choice but to nerf some of the offensive levels, maybe some of the troops or heroes a little bit at Town Hall 13. It might come to that. Very important to bring that balance back into the game and make sure that Town Hall 13 is more difficult than Town Hall 12. Now it's time for the why. Why is Town Hall 13 easier than Town Hall 12 right now? I mean, they upgraded the weapon of the Town Hall. It's a lot more powerful. We got scatter shots, which are a devastating defense. So why is Town Hall 13 easier than Town Hall 12 right now? And that's going to be actually illustrated very well by my most recent Legends attack. Let's let this thing develop a little bit, and then it's going to be very, very apparent just why this is. We're going to start out with some earthquakes right here. Go back to that ×1 speed there. And then just such a super trolly base. We got an early tornado. We got Tesla traps. We got a scatter shot raining down. We got the Town Hall beams in there on all those Yetis. So I use an early Grand Warden ability just to get through the troll section, and an early rage to make sure that my raged up healers can keep my Yetis and P.E.K.K.A.s alive through that Town Hall blast and up to a good amount of health. Not a whole heck of a lot of opportunity for great jump value in this base, but I figured, hey, I didn't want to skip that multi-target inferno. So right off the get-go, when I saw this base, I was like, there's no way I'm tripling this base. This is not a good base design for this army I have. But in Legends League, you don't have a choice. You have the army no matter what the base looks like, and you have to try to make it work. I did not think there was any chance I was going to 3-star this, but check this out. Hold on. Look at this. We got Hogs coming out right now, and that Royal Champion coming out. She is an absolute monster of a hero, and when you use her on the back end of a base, especially with a few Hogs doing some tanking for her, it's amazing just how much base she can take out. So even though the main push, I mean the Yetis, the P.E.K.K.A.s, all that stuff got maybe a third of the base down, maybe a half if you're really generous. Look at the Royal Champion going in here, taking out this multi-target inferno. The Queen couldn't reach that. Yetis and P.E.K.K.A.s could not reach that. She is super, super key to why Town Hall 13 is easy right now. In fact, she is the #1 reason. She's like the biggest reason, really the only reason that Town Hall 13 is easier than Town Hall 12 right now, because those scatter shots are monsters. They're very difficult defense. Look at her popping her ability, taking out the next 4 closest defenses. She's still gonna get down the double cannon and even the X-bow, leaving that single target inferno as the only remaining defense. Queen is gonna go in there and get that sniped out. I didn't think there was any way that I was going to triple this base just when I saw the layout of it, but managed to get lucky and triple it anyways, just under the power of the Royal Champion. So no doubt she's a beast. That being said, I hope they don't nerf her, just because she's the reason I 3-star so many bases at Town Hall 13 right now. But eventually it might come to that. It might, you know what I mean? But I think in the meantime, let base builders catch up. Let us get our bases upgraded. That should help defend. And let the great base builders out there really build some killer bases that are going to defend in this meta. And in the meantime, got to reduce the difficulty of Town Hall 12 a little bit. Got to bring it back into the balance somehow. Because we've seen that's a really good formula for this game continuing to be so strong 7 years later. You know what I mean? Clash of Clans is going stronger than it was 5 years ago. It's really reached a revival. It's reached new heights. The company actually posted greater profits for this last year than they did the year before. So this game is far from being dead. We've got a ton of new stuff, and I still love it just as much as ever. In fact, I still think it's the greatest video game ever made, which is why I've got this YouTube channel about it. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? You still love Clash Clash of Clans as much as I do. On the screen right now, you're going to see in the middle an option to subscribe to the channel by a little logo. You're also going to see what YouTube thinks is another video on my channel you might like, so be sure to check that out so we can keep hanging out. Friends, I'll see you in the next video.